Hey guys, my name is Scott Mercer, and I'm doing the Communication Privacy Management Theory. So to start, we'll just do the basic overview of what the theory is. So the Communication Privacy Management Theory is a theory based on how people make decisions about revealing and concealing their private information. The main focus of the theory is that it suggests that people will create and maintain privacy boundaries with other people depending on the pros and cons of the information that's being disclosed. So there's really 5 key principles that go along with this theory. To start, the first one is that people believe they own and have a right to control their private information. The second one is that people control their private information through the use of personal privacy rules. The third one is when people are told or discover a person's private information, they become co-owners of that information. The fourth one would be that co-owners of private information need to negotiate mutually agreeable privacy rules about telling others. And the fifth one would be that when co-owners of private information don't effectively negotiate and follow jointly held privacy rules, boundary turbulence is likely the result. So all in all, really, the theory goes over your private information. When you share that private information with others, they become co-owners of that information, meaning they can do what they want with the information when they want. So the whole goal of the theory is to create privacy boundaries with that person, so you can go over what you expect out of them with that information, who they can tell, who they can share it with, and by doing that, you won't have boundary turbulence, which is conflict with the other person, or this information won't get out. And so the main goal is to really just keep privacy boundaries up, so you and the co-owners of your information are on the same page. So the founder of this theory was Sandra Petronio. She founded in 1991 and originally called it the Communication Boundary Management, but then changed the name to Communication Privacy Management Theory. Now she is a professor in the Department of Communication Studies at Indiana University. So next I have my graphic representation of the theory. So I start out with, you start with your own private information and you're the sole owner of that information. So when you decide to share that information with others, the next person becomes a co-owner of that information, like we went over earlier. So from there we go to our boundary coordination operations, which would be sit down with the person, you let them know how you feel about it, who they can share this information with, how sensitive this information is, how you feel about them sharing with others. And by doing this, you can be on the same page with others and be able to really control that information and be able to tell them, you know, this is what I don't want with it, this is what I do want with it. You can tell this person, not this person, this is what it means to me. By doing that, in the long run, you're not going to be disappointed or surprised by everybody knowing this information or exactly what you didn't want. So from there we go to boundary turbulence, which is, boundary turbulence occurs when your coordination is not done well. So say you had miscommunication with your co-owners of that information and they told others, or you guys are just not on the same page or what should be going on. Boundary turbulence will occur, and it really creates a conflict. So the whole main goal is to really avoid this. So with your boundary coordination operations, you can, if it's done well, you can avoid boundary turbulence. And the whole goal is you don't want any boundary turbulence. And from there we go to our privacy boundaries complete. So in the long run, the whole main goal is to really be successful in your coordination attempts. If you have very good coordination, you won't run into any turbulence, no conflicts, and in the long run, everything will work out just how you wanted it. So lastly, we have the application of this theory. So I like to think about a time when you want to tell a friend a secret or something private. So you have private information you want to tell others, maybe somebody that's very close to you, somebody that you tell everything to. So then think about the boundaries, if any, that you created for that information after being shared. So before you're going to share this information with anybody, so say you had a crush on a girl, for example, just an easy example, and you want to tell your best friend about it, but you don't want everybody else to know about it. So you'd sit down with your friend before and say, you know, I don't want anybody to know about this information. I don't want the school to know about this. I just want it to be between me and you. I don't want you to tell anybody. I hope we're on the same page. This is the boundaries that we're not going to cross. So by doing this, you really want to establish clear, defined boundaries, because if not, you're going to run into boundary turbulences, which is just a mess and conflict and something that you don't need. So you really need to sit down and establish very clear, defined boundaries. So after that, you sit down with your friend, you establish who you want to know this, who you don't, and from there, you're able to tell them that information. And in the long run, nobody's going to find out about it. You don't run into conflict with your friend because he went behind your back and told everybody else. But by sitting down and talking to him about it, who can hear this information, who can't, who do you want to know, and establishing that beforehand, you were able to avoid the turbulence or conflict that later could be associated with it. So in the long run, that's my theory presentation of communication privacy management theory, and thank you guys.